Good evening. I don't know about you, but I'm a little chilly, so we're going to just take our time and go through this thing nice and slow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2018 commencement ceremony for our Muskegon High School. I stand before all of you as the proud principal of the 83rd graduating class this evening. Hold your applause to the end until all have been recognized. Dr. Kurt Babcock, Superintendent of Schools, with Mr. William Meyer, Board of Education President, Mr. Steve Bliss, Board of Education Vice President, Dr. Mary Moulton, Board of Education Secretary, Ms. Christy Saunders, Board of Education Treasurer, and Board of Education Trustees, Mr. Paul Young, Ms. Carolyn Nadeau, Ms. Lisa Winters, and Mr. Mike Belmonte, Director of Student Affairs. Also to my left are several members of the outstanding faculty of North Muskegon Public Schools. Thank you for joining us. And this time, go ahead and clap. They're all worthy. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Meyer, Board President, for a few words.
Thank you, Ken. On behalf of the North Muskegon Board of Education, I would like to welcome all of the students, parents, family members, friends, teachers, administrators, and others here tonight to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2018. Graduation is the highlight of the school year and looked forward to by all. To our graduates, your many years of hard work culminate today. You should be proud of all that you have achieved, and I hope look forward to all that you will accomplish. As I'm sure you will all agree, there is a special relationship between the members of the North Muskegon community and this school. Those ties help make our school successful, and we never forget those who supported our school. One such person is our next speaker. Normally these speeches are given by school board members, but we are making an exception this year. He served on our school board for 13 years, including 11 years as board president. The only reason he is not president now is that he was elected sheriff of Muskegon County. In recognition of the leadership that he provided, the board and administration asked him if he would speak at his son's graduation this year. Fortunately, he accepted. So I ask that you please join me in welcoming a North Muskegon graduate, class of 1984, and a proud parent, Sheriff Michael Poulin.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer, and thank you to this North Muskegon family. I want to start by thanking the Board of Education and Dr. Babcock for giving me this opportunity to speak here today. As Will had stated, I'm honored to be here. I was honored to serve as a board member starting in 2002 until this past year when our state constitution didn't allow me to hold two offices, which forced my resignation. I have no intent of taking up too much time, as this is a day for us to celebrate our graduates. But I do want to take a moment and share what I feel is an important message. As I stand here in front of each of you, as a community member and alumni of North Muskegon, and soon to be proud parent of another Norseman graduate, I couldn't be more impressed with the hard work and effort that this class has accomplished. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to attend the Seniors Awards Assembly, and I must say, what an impressive group. During the assembly, Principal Meyer reflected on your class using one word, and that was kindness. As a parent of a student in this class, I have had the opportunity to watch each of you grow and mature into the fine, caring individuals you are, and I must agree, he was spot on. The fact that each of you are sitting here today proves that you are successful. And yes, success is important. But what our world needs right now are more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of every kind. Keep your kindness and live well in your place. No matter where you go or what you do, please have the moral courage to continue to do good and stay kind. Find someone that does not look like you and have a conversation. A quote from Mark Twain reads, "Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." Be that voice which can be seen and heard by everyone. As you leave here today, don't forget about your parents. They love you by letting go, but you should also remember that they care for you very much. They will always want the best for you. Today, your parents are very proud of you. They have been involved with you every step of the way, and they will continue along your journey. I want to wish you all the best. Always choose the harder right, volunteer your time, and stay connected with your community. Thank you. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce board trustee and parent of a graduate, Mrs. Carolyn Netto.
First, I want to say how honored I feel to be speaking here tonight. It really is a pleasure. I also have a couple things I said I would try to do tonight. So, Corinne, I will keep the embarrassing stories to a minimum. And the other thing is, hi, Lauren. Seriously though, I just want to take a minute to provide a parent's perspective. Earlier this year, a handful of teenagers from Florida, through their passion, their dedication, and their courage, found themselves on the world stage, standing up for something in which they believe. During a CBS 60 Minutes interview, the mother of one of the students was asked what that was like. How did she feel? Her response resonated with me insanely. She said it was like her daughter had made a pair of wings out of balsa wood and duct tape and simply leapt off a building. All they could do as parents was run along the ground beneath her with a net. A net, she added, that her daughter had neither asked for nor wanted. After you walk off our stage tonight, you will all be on different paths. Some of you will go far away, some will stay close, some have a direct path you know you want to follow, and some are simply undecided. Wherever you go, you will be presented with challenges, decisions, and opportunities. I feel that your time and experiences here at North Muskegon have prepared you for those moments and provided you with materials and tools that are stronger than balsa wood and duct tape. As parents, we hope that when you need to, you use your passion, your dedication, and your courage to make wings and take that leap, to stand up for what you believe. And always know, whether you want it or need it, we'll be running along the ground beneath you with a net. To the young men and women of the class of 2018 and your parents, congratulations.
Thank you, Carolyn. At this time, will the senior band and orchestra members join the rest of your group to perform for our seniors' final performance. Let's all enjoy our high school band and orchestra under the direction of Mr. Corey Daniels as they perform Procession of the Noble.
Once upon a time, in a mile-wide village, the class of 2018 attended a shining castle. Or, we thought we did. The first day of school at North Muskegon was a day of excitement, wonder, and no small amount of anxiety. It would be the first of thousands of days spent learning and making friends in the same building. This wasn't preschool at the church down the street anymore. Many of the class of 2018 went through what was labeled Discovery Kindergarten, in which we traveled the globe, so we believed. There would never be a time with so many field trips, including but not limited to the blueberry farm, the apple orchard, the dunes, and the imagination station. We discovered our friends, many of whom would stay close friends for the rest of our years at North Muskegon. Moving into kindergarten next year was devastating for me when I realized that Lauren Anderson and Grace Goskowitz were in the afternoon section. Many of you know, and for those of you who don't, I have a really hard time with change. My parents might even tell you that I will fight tooth and nail for my seat at the dinner table. But I was able to make new friends, which can be as easy as inviting someone to your older brother's birthday party, raiding someone else's sleepover with an arsenal of squirt guns, eating glue and being escorted to the office, or maybe just having really, really bad knees, which require you to sit in Mrs. B's car during field day. Making friends can be really simple if you follow those steps, not necessarily in that order. First grade was an adventure. Our junior grade books club consisted of avid readers who really mostly enjoyed the extra snacks. And on the playground in that courtyard, things were tense. We had an ongoing war of tag, boys against girls, all the while avoiding those wasp nests that were always hiding in the ceiling of that playhouse. And we began the zap game, which would claim a victim and cause a lot of alarm later. Second grade was full of rumors and stories. Someone concluded that Bloody Mary lived down the hill from the big kids' playground, and that same imagination led to the idea that anyone who came too close to that fence would surely die. Needless to say, we avoided the edge of the playground that whole year. But indoors, we tried really hard to play the violin. Third grade is equivalent to one phrase: pool school. We were either taught to swim or challenged to swim better at the YMCA, which will forever be called the Y, since Lakeshore Fitness Center doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. I still remember that rapid walk from the locker rooms to the pool, which was just about as cold as any hallway could be. Third grade, we also had our lumberjack breakfast, during which many of us met our friends' parents for the very first time. I made scrambled eggs with Mrs. Poulin that morning, and when I say that, I really mean Mrs. Poulin made eggs while I boasted about how good I was at making eggs. Fourth grade was a time of pre-transition. Everything seemed just around the corner. It's great. I saw everything clearer when I got glasses as a result of an in-school vision test, and Mr. Reitz managed to have the best-worst mix of students. Best for us, worst for him. And Harry got stuck in a trash can because of that. Oh, in that game of Zap, claimed its victim. Rest in peace. Fifth grade was the real transition. We went west for that golden Demdar Hills and quite literally went west into the halls of our middle school. Just crossing over the cafeteria and climbing a flight of stairs. And middle school really as a whole should just not be talked about. Our grade has the worst luck with rain and wind no matter the field trip. 7th grade substitute trip wasn't exactly a Chicago or a Detroit tour complete with a river tour and a baseball game. No, it was Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. For 8th grade, Mr. Caraba jinxed us when going over our packing list, telling us it could be 40 degrees and raining sideways, so come prepared. And that was what it was. We had our balconies watched that night as an apparently necessary caution. But in middle school, as a whole, it was really a time of awkwardness and stretching to fit in. When there were only so many people to befriend, you either had to accept everyone for who they are, or you had to try to fit into those really narrow categories. And through high school, we realized just how unique this class is. Freshman year was somehow at ease rather than the stereotypical panic of trying to be accepted by those upperclassmen that's often depicted in movies. Sophomore year sort of disappeared into the fold of the information while we were vaguely aware of the future planning that would come ahead. We had a speaker come in that year who challenged us to be the best class in the high school, and we took that to heart. When junior year came along, the class of 2018 shone brightly in our representation with those who were accepted into NHS. We were competitive now, pushing each other for academic and athletic greatness. And this included the races to our lockers, located as far as possible from the classes at NM. Our class was really high in participation for dual enrollment at MCC, which gave us a start on this upcoming chapter. And we were a grade abroad, many of us traveling to Spain and France, some traveling to Ethiopia or countries in Latin America. We went on service projects to help those in need, and when we came back, we spread those messages to everyone around us. And this year, during our senior year at North Muskegon, it just flew by so fast. Many of us have older siblings who warned us that each year in high school goes by faster than the last, and they were right. We were on top of the world at the front of senior hall, no more rushing, other than some of us to sneak in those last credits to graduate. And if senior year taught us anything, it was to savor our time and cherish our accomplishments. We've won lip sync every single year by one way or another, not that anyone here is counting. But we will take those lessons with us into the next chapter, whether we remain here at MCC, go to a 4-year university, advance to the workforce, or serve our country. Savor your time with parents, friends, and family. Savor every moment because we've learned how fast 1 year can fly by. North Muskegon has geared us for success, and that'll help us to cherish our accomplishments. This class was challenged to be the greatest, and that doesn't stop when we leave these halls. The class of 2018 is leaving a legacy here, but that legacy is so far from being done created. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen, as you build your legacy, savoring those moments and creating more accomplishments to cherish. Oh, and do not forget to factor. Thank you. Our next speaker is my friend, partner in crime, and honorary sister, Grace Gaskowitz.
Good evening. I'd like to reflect on what it means to be a Norseman. The time here growing up in North Muskegon has built our foundation, a foundation for the lives we are about to build. In this beautiful place we call home, we've learned how to tie our shoes and tie up a ball game at the bottom of the seventh, how to write our names and write analytical essays for Mr. Shanehalls, how to ride a bike and how to drive, how to have gum in your locker and not let your friends know that you have it, how to swim and how to stay afloat through difficult classes, how to have fun and how to be friends, and most importantly, how to love one another. And for that, we must acknowledge and thank those around us, our teachers, our coaches, our community, each other, and our parents. Our parents who have guided us throughout this time, letting us grow and succeed, learn, and fail. Thank you. We've been blessed with such wonderful figures guiding us as we grow. From these figures in our lives, we have learned about the importance of people, of community, and of loving deeply. It is how we became who we are today. Every hug, every disagreement, every struggle, and every smile. Probably the most important lesson we've learned is that life inevitably throws us a curveball, and then another, and then another. We have learned that our reactions to such situations define us. We've dropped our entire lunch tray just as we've gotten through the line. We've had family members pass away. We've said things to our friends we probably shouldn't have. Someone has accidentally stood a little too close to the fence at Two Sinks Farm while his coat was completely devoured by a goat 2 times the size of his 6-year-old body. We've found ourselves in these unfavorable situations before, and it is certain we will see challenging times again in the future. What we can all remember in those moments is our time here together, in this small town, in this small school. We will be able to draw upon the strength we have built here to carry us through trials and triumphs. We've become comfortable in this place we call home, surrounded by people who know us well. Next year, our professors won't know that Emma ate glue in the 1st grade. Our professor probably won't be a close relative or your mom's best friend. We might not have multiple teachers living within 2 blocks of our home. Our professors won't know our siblings, see us at Meyer multiple times, or sit in front of you in church. We probably won't have a principal willing to drive us home and back in the dead of winter when you lock your keys in your car. Classmates won't know that it was you that cheated at Red Rover on the playground in elementary. It will be okay. It will be different, but it will be okay. We'll make new memories with new people in a new place, because we've learned that connecting with people is what is essential to who we are. What is important to remember is what brought us to each new point. The time we've spent here has been a wonderful chapter, and the chapter we're about to begin is dependent on the details of this last one. the memories, and the love. And it is dependent on our decisions in handling both the sunshine and rain in our lives. My mom once shared a story with me about a girl talking about life with her father. The girl's father took her to the kitchen, filled 3 pots with water, and placed 3 different things in each pot. One contained potatoes, one had eggs, and one had coffee. All 3 pots boiled for a while. He then took out the potatoes and placed them in a bowl, did the same with the egg, and ladled out the coffee and placed it in a cup. The father asked, "What do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs, and coffee," she said. "Look closer," he said, "and touch the potatoes." "It's hot." She did, and noted that they were soft. He then asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, he asked her to sip the coffee. He then explained that the potatoes, eggs, and coffee beans had all faced the same adversity, the boiling water. However, each one reacted differently. The potato went in strong, hard, and unrelenting, but in boiling water, it became weak and soft. The egg was fragile until it was put in the boiling water, and then it became hard. However, the ground coffee beans were unique. After they were exposed to the water, they changed it completely and created something new. Finally, he asked his daughter, "Which are you? When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean?" The door behind us is now closing. Whether we're running away from it, we've been waiting for it to hit us for a while now, or are scared that it is closing so quickly. But to quote Madame's favorite movie, when the Lord closes a door, somewhere he opens a window. And thank goodness, because it's hot in here. This I truly believe. The door behind us will close, and we will be in a new place in our lives with much uncertainty. Questions will eventually need answers. What am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to do it? Who's going to be there with me? Even some bigger questions like, how am I going to pay for gas? How much coffee do you put into the maker? When you do the laundry, how much detergent do you put in actually? Although we're excited to walk through this new door, so very many things seem uncertain. What I do know for certain is that there is a window open somewhere, maybe cracked only a little, but open, and it is up to us to find it. To find it and face each new adventure with a drive to succeed and act with love. I have hope. I hope we choose to be coffee beans. I hope we continue to look to each other, look back on our time here together, and let it guide us as we move forward. I hope we can see past the political views and ideological differences which divide our country today. I hope we choose to interact with the world around us each day with a desire to make it better. I hope we remember our time here in this building as the foundation. It has taught us to be the coffee beans, uniquely changing the water we are all in together as the North Muskegon graduating class of 2018. Thank you. Our next speaker is the one and only Jimmy Cobb.
A little warm in here, isn't it? To North Muskegon, to the teachers, to the parents, and to all involved in our lives, I thank you for seeing us through, for trusting us and providing us with a foundation that will support us for the rest of our lives. As an artist, high school graduation to me shares a likeness with the first stroke of a wet paintbrush that graces a barren canvas. It's a special time in life that without fail will be stored forever in the memory of the youth. And in a certain respect, this time in our lives has been a moment of experimentation and discovery, to which ends only further the potential of each student here with me tonight. We've come and we've learned. I don't believe I'm alone when I say that each and every one of my classmates has grown into the person they are today. It is with some sadness that I know we'll grow further apart in our lives, but to my peers and my friends, we'll remain united as Norsemen for the rest of our lives. I would first and foremost like to thank the parents whose unconditional love and support has allowed us to evolve and in turn discover what purpose it is that we have to share with the world. Had it not been for the hours spent on schoolwork and countless other struggles endured throughout the years, I am positive that many of us would not be where we sit today. I would also like to thank the teachers for sharing their knowledge and accepting that each student mind works differently. My admiration and respect for the teachers I've had the pleasure to work with here at North Muskegon is, to say the least, tremendous. And a final thank you to my own family, who has had the love and the patience to put up with the constant mess that is my high school art career, and who have allowed me to learn and grow into the individual that I am today. I would like to take a moment to appreciate the growth that each person in this room tonight has achieved in each of your lifetimes. Perhaps you're just 10 years old, and you're only here tonight because your parents made you. Or you're nearing 80. You're proudly watching your grandchild partake in the honor of graduation, as perhaps you did seemingly just moments ago. Whatever your age, you're here in this present moment, still growing. Often in life, we do not know what it is that we're looking for. It's quite amazing to zoom out and see that this last 13 to 14 years at school has made up most of our lives, trying to find what it is that we're looking for. It's all that we've known, and to most of us, the bulk of the memories we have has taken place in this one building: elementary, middle, and high school, child, teen, and adult. And although we spent so many years here, I don't believe for an instant that any of us was confined by these walls. It was funny, just a week ago, I was taking my last test in high school. I came upon a quote from Anne Lindbergh, an avid aviator and author, and it took an interesting perspective on the unknown. It goes, "We do not tend to choose the unknown, which might be a shock or disappointment or simply a little difficult to cope with, and yet it is the unknown, with all its disappointments and surprises, that is the most enriching." So I continued to write on this test and focus about what the unknown means to me. My response was, to say the least, spectacular. So I wrote it down quick and put it in my pocket, and then I went swimming later and never saw it again. But if I do recall, it goes something like this: "It is the unknown that provides the flavor and interest of life, compelling us, inspiring us, and gracing us with the dreams of possibility. Ultimately, the unknown gives us definition. It provides the structure and the form essential to our being. The unknown urges us forward to become inspired, to create, and to discover the infinite potential that each of us individuals hold. It is only fitting that I see high school comparably to a painting in the sense that there's layers, intricacies, and details. These layers we've built on as we've progressed throughout the years. These intricacies we have found from our trial and error, and these details we've discovered as a thread bonding the wholeness of our experience here. Thank you.
「
speaker is my boy Max Tesson.
First thing I would like to do is congratulate the North Muskegon graduating class of 2018. I want to thank my family, friends, and of course, all of our educators. Especially thanking both my mother and father for raising three beautiful, intelligent, strong-minded individuals. I have learned a lot over the past 13 years. When I once turned on the TV on a Saturday morning back in 2009 and discovered for the first time who Zach Morris and Kelly Kapowski were, I learned without any forethought that Saved by the Bell was, and yes still is, the greatest show that has ever aired. I learned when I saw a rare Mr. Wall tweet, a picture of him on both knees with the caption, "Please, I beg you, learn to factor," that Mr. Wall has the most underrated Twitter account I have ever seen. I learned a lot from my relationship with Mr. Fricke, which I first experienced as my 6th grade English teacher. Most of my peers know that he and I didn't always see eye to eye on everything during that time. When I look back on it, I don't blame him at all. I believe he wanted the best for me, and what I wanted was to basically do zero work, have twice the fun, and cost 5 times the trouble. He quickly grasped that those were my goals in English class, which resulted in several conversations between him and my parents, which led to multiple talks between my parents and me, which in turn, of course, resulted in my emotional self crying like a baby, which I still do after every Lions playoff game. It's just called investment. As things seem to be at their worst point yet, Mr. Fricke and I had a meeting in his classroom towards the middle end of the school year where the only words I took from him during that meeting were, I had friends in school that wanted to be class clowns and make everyone laugh, but they knew they had to get their work done and they knew the importance of school. Something so simple stuck to me, and I lived by that in 7th grade, where I was still a complete jackass, but was getting my work done, and I knew the importance of school. 8th grade rolled around, and so did 8th grade English, where once again I would have Mr. Fricke, where every day I was trying to prove to him I wasn't just another class clown who would fizzle out by sophomore year. I proved to him that I was the opposite, coming with the willingness and readiness to learn every day, prepared to do 100% of the work, 100% of the time. And I, of course, was still having fun. At the end of the school year, the 7th and 8th grades award assembly was happening, and I wasn't expecting anything, but wasn't bothered by this. I was having a good time with my friends, laughing at Coach Ripstra's 20 funny things that happened with the 8th graders over that year, which is an iconic event we all wait for. It was eventually Mr. Fricke's turn to hand out English awards, where I didn't have a 99 or 100%, which is basically the requirement to get an award in any subject, so I didn't expect anything. And like predicted, I was right. But a time in my life I will never forget came after that. Right after giving out English awards, Mr. Fricke continued to speak, and he recognized that he had a student who his relationship with started off rough 2 years prior, but he hasn't been more proud of what his student has done to show maturity, growth, and dedication. And I knew in that moment he was proud of what I'd become and proud that I did not give up. I raised my hand just above my waist and I pointed at him and I winked, and he did the same thing. To this day, I know it was a moment so simple but so gratifying. It was his winking moment, where a person winks at you, and regardless of anything else, you know they have your back. Learning that waiting to figure out if our relationship was going to be good or bad gave me the opportunity to have a role model
be provided with the words I needed to change my academic life for the better. Our whole high school careers can be made up of learning. Learning what you should write your term paper on, or when you should start writing it. Learning if studying for a test that you think you maybe have a 47% chance of passing is worth it. Even on whether or not you should tweet when you wait to write your 5-page paper the day before it's due, knowing Mr. Shane follows you, what does he do? A few hours later, he likes your tweet. There's always going to be those learning experiences. A big use of this was probably freshman year, when you wanted to study for that freshman biology test, but with careful thought and consideration, you decided to binge watch The Office all night, telling yourself, I'll learn just as much from this. Learning is a big part of high school. You gotta use it right. It's everywhere, and it can lead to a successful high school career through skillful procrastination. I could go on about how the way I'm telling you to learn is the perfect recipe for college success. But I have a feeling that's probably not right, and I don't get along tough with my parents. High school, as I've experienced, hasn't been like a movie, it's been more. It's been a journey, and it's been everything. The most important thing I will say to you today is not just this school, but this city, and all its people will always be our home. And it will welcome us with open arms every time we return, and give us the biggest goodbyes when we leave. There is only one North Muskegon, and it will always be home. So this is where I leave you, with the thought that a teacher can stir a young boy's academic path, and the rare thought that procrastination is the key for the perfect high school success story, and that will always be okay to say. Thank you.
Jacob Mitchell Lawrence. Thomas Murray Concha. Ryan Patrick Kenny. Garrett Donald Cooler. Grace Carissa Bassett. Lauren Elizabeth Anderson. Samantha Pegg Bergstrom. William Byler. Jacob Peter Krackoff. Elena Carol Janae Adams. Artist. Christian Giovanni Brooks. Sophie Lois Stewart. Leilani Gabrielle Smith. Mitchell Edward Walters. Dylan Jordan Hoffman. Garrett Joseph Bowen. Benjamin Alexander Hogan. Justin Lasal Douglas Edwards. Liam Joan Venus. Sarah Nicole Duro. Ariana Lynn Herrera. Josephine Grace Eden. Kenan Ivor Jordan. Justin Adam Fisher. Corinne May Nadeau. Alyssa Brianne Johnson. Jordan Chambers Johnson. Tyler Raymond Ramsey. Laquan Edward Cooper. Lene Amarani Figueroa. Phoebe Noel Edgar. Ellen Jonathan Hedges. Haley Elizabeth Sloan. Kelly Diana Bergman. Jacob Bradley Parsons. Matthew James Brady. Chase Coleman Hesley. Anthony Calvin Obiago. Madeline Monet Hardy. Jasmine Nicole Thomas. David Fiddler. Ryan James Kennedy. Brett Stephen Huff. Kashna Laverne Johnson. Rhiannon Lee McIntosh. Kylie Adriana Simonson. Julia Torriero. Mathis Renee Mueller. Wesley Stephen Fuller. Cassie Rose Tree Bassett. Benedetta Herky. Megan Christine Stroker. Allison Suzanne Dorn. Ida Lisette Ron Gunn. Sean David Leisner. Thomas Patrick Lupo. Jesse Torsen Fair. Eli Patrick Pullen. Carissa Lynn Sears. Holly Lynn Kazicki.
It's now my privilege to announce our final graduate this evening, Lauren Hale. Lauren will now lead the taxes in a symbolic changing of the taxes. Mr. William Meyer, Board of Education President, and members of the North Muskegon School Board of Education, it is with great pleasure and pride that I accept this class, the senior class of 2018, as having completed all necessary requirements for graduation, and do now officially pronounce them the newest alumni of North Muskegon High School. Congratulations, class.
Thank you.